I got a lot of questions on my MacBook Neo review about drawing tablets, which makes a lot of sense. I review a lot of them, and people are worried that the Neo might not be super compatible with all of the drawing tablets out there. But good news, it is, and I'm going to run through some of the ones that I recommend for a setup like this.
This is Brad. He likes to review the tech. He also likes to draw. And this here is his theme song.
I want to start by saying that any drawing tablet, almost any drawing tablet, is going to work here. The list that I have on this video is catered to the MacBook Neo, which is a laptop, but a laptop at a budget price that punches above its weight in terms of quality. It's right in that sweet spot for price and performance. So I picked out tablets that I also think fit in that price to performance range. Also, I'm going to be linking all these down below in the description, so if you want to check any of those out, learn more, they're down there. Also, over on my website, I rank everything I review, so if you want to do a ton of research, that's a good place to go. All right, so let's start with the cheapest. Let's start with drawing tablets. This is the cheapest tablet on this list. This is the Deco O1 V3, and I just did a full review of this not that long ago. I called this the cheapest drawing tablet that I am comfortable recommending, and that sounds about right. It comes in at $50. Now, the size of this thing is a little bit bigger than a standard 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, and the drawing size on it is about 10 inches by 6.25 inches. Now, a lot of the smaller tablets that are like this, that are similar to this, maybe cost a little bit less than this, have a much smaller drawing size. And when you get that smaller drawing size, what happens is it's just harder to kind of complete your lines, make it match up somewhere else. Also hitting interface elements with that pen. I find the 10 by 6.25 range to be that sweet spot where it starts to make sense, where these things become a lot easier to use. It also helps that the pen that XP Pen includes here works really well. It's a battery-free pen. It's also a pressure-sensitive pen, which means the harder that you press, the darker your line's going to get, or the more paint is going to come out of your brush, depending on how your drawing program is set up. And this pen is one of the better pens out on the market. So you're getting an inexpensive tablet, but also a very good pen to go along with it. It's also worth noting that this comes in a couple different colors, which is, I guess, kind of fun. I got the green one. I thought green is kind of an unusual color for a tech product nowadays, so why not? Also worth noting on the Deco, we also have some buttons along the side. Those are customizable, so you can set them to your shortcuts. So if you want to use one to change from a brush to eraser, you could do that. Use another one to zoom in and out. You could do that. Use one for undo. Totally do that. Now, before you run out and just buy the cheapest option available to you, you have to know some of the drawbacks here, the cons. And the main one here is the learning curve. Many drawing tablets that have a screen to them, like the rest of the tablets that I'm going to be talking about here, are just a lot easier to use if you're new to digital art, because you're seeing your drawing on the screen and you're taking the pen, and where you draw that pen, you see a line appear. Whereas a tablet like this does not have a screen. So it's usually sitting directly in front of your laptop or in front of your monitor. You're drawing on it and the line is appearing in front of you. That takes a long time to learn how to use. So oftentimes when people get these for the first time, they're like, wow, why isn't my drawing working right? I'm trying to draw a circle and it draws an oval. Or you just have to get used to the idea of where your pen is in relation to what your eye is seeing in front of you. It's kind of hard to do. Even to this day, since I don't use one of these on a daily basis, it can be hard for me to kind of jump into and learn and use. I usually say to anybody who picks something like this up, give it a week. In fact, I would replace your mouse with it and see how much you can use it to just navigate around your computer and get familiar with it. The more familiar you are with where that pen is on the tablet compared to where it is on the screen and how far it's going to go when you move it around, the more used to it you are going to be when you start to draw with it. But if that sounds like too much, I have some screen-based options here. If you're looking to go that route, I have two options that I think are pretty good. The best one, and my favorite one of these budgets, is hands down this one. This is the Huion Canvas 13 Gen 3. Now, right now, this guy is selling for $200, and that is a steal. This is a 13.3-inch screen. It's not a huge screen, but it's big enough to get the job done. It's got a full HD resolution that's 1920 by 1080. It is a laminated display, so there's no gap. underneath the glass before you get to the screen. So that means that where your pen touches down, there's no gap between the tip of the pen and where a line appears underneath it, which is really nice. It's also worth noting that this is a single cord tablet. So you can take one USB Type-C cable and plug it directly into your MacBook Neo. And that's really nice because you don't have to have a second cord to plug this into a wall. It just works out of the box, one cord seamlessly, although it is going to be drawing power from the MacBook Neo and it's going to drain your battery faster. So you might want to use that other USB-C port on your MacBook Neo for power to plug it in. It's also worth mentioning that this is one of my favorite pens. What Huion is doing here is they're including their same high quality Pro pen that they include in their $2,000 tablets, also in their low end $200 tablets, because that's the main thing you're drawing or buying when you get a drawing tablet is you're buying a high quality pen. And the fact that they're packing in the same pen on the high end as the low end is really, really nice. Oftentimes on these low end tablets, the screens don't look good. This one does. I think the color range is decent. It even gets up to a 90% Adobe RGB. Now that isn't super fancy. If you're a print designer, you're probably going to want more. But if you're just learning, that gives you an idea of kind of the range that they have here and what they're trying to accomplish in a budget price tablet. It's not bad. One of the distinguishing features of this tablet are the buttons and dials along the left hand side. Those buttons, like the last tablet we were talking about, totally customizable. You can change them to whatever you want, whatever suits your drawing style. But you also have these dials. Now this is really nice because you can set one of those dials to rotating, so you can like rotate your canvas really easily. You can set one of those dials to changing your brush size, so you can go up and down in brush size really easily, or zoom in and out of the canvas easily. Really cool stuff. This also comes in 3 colors. It's kind of hard to find the green one, but you can easily find the pink one or the black one, which is the color I have here. And this Huion is just a pleasure to draw on. As soon as you pick up the pen and start sketching around, it just feels good. And if you're someone who's thought, man, I've always wanted to just go and take an art class and learn some skills and just have a lot of fun, you should check out my Learn to Draw in 60 Days course over on my website. Every day, a new lesson. You go at your own speed, and we get you in there hands-on drawing from day one. The other course I have on there is Intro to Digital Art. So if you are used to drawing, but you're new to digital art itself and want to learn about the brushes and some of the techniques that I use here, check that one out on my website as well. Next up, we have the XP Pen Artist 12. Now this one I also recommend, although I would say that I probably recommend the Huion a little bit more. It really comes down to if it's on sale and what the price is. This one is currently listed at $250. At the time that you watch this video, it might be cheaper because I often see it go on sale for $200. You'll have to check the links down below and just see what's the cheaper one. That's usually my advice here. It is worth noting this does have a slightly smaller screen than the Huion we talked about before. It's about an inch smaller. We have an 11.9 inch screen. It's the same resolution though. It's full HD, 1920 by 1080. It also only needs a single cord to plug it in. That's something that I really like when you're talking about a laptop tablet. This is something that could fit in a bag. You can take it with you. This also has a great pen. I do give Huion the edge here. I think the Huion pen is a little better than what XP Pen has here, but I don't think it's like a huge improvement. It's not like a giant leap forward. It's just a little better. This also has shortcut keys along the side. At first you might think, oh, it doesn't have the dials that the Huion does, and it kind of has something similar. It has these little rollers at the edge that do the same thing. You could also set those to change your brush size, set those to rotate your canvas, that sort of thing. And it also comes with a fairly inexpensive stand in the box, just some metal pieces that kind of slide together so you could set this up at a nice drawing angle. But like I said, both of these are a good option. If they are the same price, I say go Huion, but sometimes you're going to find one cheaper than the other. And if one is significantly cheaper, you're not like losing a lot of quality there by jumping to the XP Pen. Now, what if you have a little bit more money to spend? That's when I'd recommend this. This is the Huion Canvas 16. Now, this may look very, very familiar to you. It is just a slightly bigger version of the 13-incher that I was talking about a minute ago, and it has a lot of the same features. It has the same exact pen. It has a very similar screen quality. It has the same buttons along the side. All of that stuff is the same. It looks the same. It does cost considerably more. This is currently listed at $500, and I think the main reason why is that this is a 1440p display. That means that's a higher resolution than the full HD display on the 13-inch. I think it's a really nice display, and I think this is a really nice upgrade though, because once you get a display up to 16 inches, like with a drawing tablet, you're getting pretty close to it. You're like hovering over it, looking at that screen. Here, you're not going to see pixels, or it's not going to be as noticeable. It's going to be a lot crisper because the dots per inch are a lot more condensed on that 1440p screen than they would be on a 1080p screen. So that's a nice upgrade, but it does increase the price a considerable amount. Now, I haven't mentioned Wacom yet. A lot of you are familiar with that brand. It's a really well-known brand in the drawing tablet space, especially since I was using the 13-inch Wacom Move Ink tablet in my MacBook Neo review. Why is that not on the list? Well, it's a pretty simple reason. It's the price. It is a very good tablet with a very, very good pen, but it's also $700 for a 13-inch display. That's about $400 more than what you're getting here with the Huion. It is an OLED screen, so it does get brighter. I don't think it's a particularly great OLED screen. It's really thin, it's really light, it's really portable, but is it worth paying hundreds and hundreds of dollars more for? I'm not so sure about that. The pen is better than Huion's pen by a tiny bit, but it's not like amazingly better. It's not $400 or $500 better. So even though I like it, it's just not quite in the same value range. What about some of the displays that Wacom does have that is in this like range in terms of price and value and that sort of thing? Well, Wacom has their Wacom One line. I reviewed some of those last year. And this is another example of Wacom's prices just being a little too high for the quality they're offering. I don't think the build quality in those or the pen quality in those are quite as good as the Huion displays that I was talking about a minute ago, but the price is a little bit higher. And for that reason, Wacom isn't making this list, even though I do like their products. Lastly, maybe you want something big, something that's gonna sit on your desk and also be a second monitor to use when you're not drawing. That's when I'd recommend this. This is the newish Huion 22-inch canvas. It's a good option. It's not too expensive for its size, and it's coming in around $600. Getting that same great Huion pen, you get a really good screen. This is a 1440p screen. At 22 inches, I think that's about as low of a resolution as you're gonna wanna go at that size. You know, 4K would be better, 4K would be crisper, but 1440p is good enough. There's a stand along the back. This thing is really heavy. This is really gonna be anchored to your desk. This is not a portable display in any way. That stand does also take up a lot of room, so you're gonna have to like kind of prepare your desk for that. But the stand is really easy to adjust. There's a little latch on the back and you can just kind of pull the tablet up and down. There aren't a lot of extras in the box. It only comes with one pen. It only comes with a handful of nibs. There's not a lot of fancy things here. It just has what you need to connect it to your MacBook Neo. Now, something worth mentioning here is that the other tablets that I've talked about up to this point are a one cable solution where you can just take one USB Type-C cable, plug this into your MacBook Neo, and you're off to the races. Well, here, you're also gonna have to connect this to a wall outlet. It needs external power, and then you could connect the USB Type-C cable to your laptop and go from there. But for its price, I think $600 is a really good value. And so those are the tablets I'd recommend kind of in this price range. If you're getting an inexpensive Mac Neo and you want some decent, pretty good drawing tablets kind of in a lower price range, these are the ones I'd recommend. What do you think? Let me know down below in the comments. Thank you all for watching, and I'll talk to you in a couple of days.